See that dog?
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to the grand opening celebration of the first weGrow store on the East Coast, right here in Washington, D.C. We're extremely excited to open a store in the nation's capital. My name is Sunny Singh. I am the weGrow franchisee in Arizona and also Chief Operators Office for weGrow Corporate. I'd like to kick things off by introducing Dar Man, medical marijuana entrepreneur and founder of weGrow. Dar started the company in 2010 when he was kicked out of a California hydroponics store for asking about medical cannabis. He has since grown the weGrow brand into a well-known national franchise. Dar.
Thank you, Chief Operating Officer. So this is a big year for the medical marijuana industry. 16 states, in addition to the District of Columbia, have legalized marijuana for medical purposes, in addition to 18 new states with pending legalization measures. Governors from the East and West Coast, from Washington State to Rhode Island, have formally requested federal policymakers to reclassify marijuana for being a drug with accepted medical uses. And for the first time in history, a recent Gallup poll found that a majority of Americans are in favor of legalizing marijuana, whereas just a couple years ago, 73% opposed legalization. And those trends are growing. And today, the Department of Health in Washington, D.C. announced 6 groups that are licensed to operate medical marijuana cultivation centers here in the nation's capital. Yes, that means these 6 cultivation centers will generate new jobs. Yes, that means these 6 cultivation centers will generate new tax. But most importantly, these 6 cultivation centers have the opportunity to grow medicine for sick patients who are in need of medical cannabis. And weGrow is now here to help ensure that cultivation is done in a safe and responsible way, so that cannabis patients can have access to high quality medicine. I did an interview earlier and I was asked, are they going to start growing marijuana in DC? I knew the reporter was referring to the cultivation licenses, but I thought for a second and responded, marijuana has been growing here in DC for years, just like it has been in non-medical marijuana states such as New York, Florida, Texas. But if you mean medical marijuana is going to be grown here in DC in a licensed, regulated, and tax-paying way, then yes. The reality is that marijuana growing, selling, and consuming is happening all around us every single day. The question is not whether you want the marijuana industry to exist. It exists either way. The question is whether you want it to be regulated and taxed like the alcohol industry, or whether we want to continue to spend our limited resources trying to control it, only giving rise to underground markets. The licensed cultivation centers are going to need products and services to build their grow rooms. And I ask, why not buy those products here in DC? These licensed cultivation centers are going to need support in designing and building the grow rooms. And I ask, why not purchase these services here in DC? I want to take a second to congratulate the District of Columbia and its leadership for implementing the medical marijuana program approved by voters. I believe their decision will not only allow economic growth here locally, but also turn that growth into something positive that we can do as a community, such as enhancing our school systems or improving our public roadways. I also congratulate the applicants who were selected by the Department of Health to receive one of the 6 licenses for growing medical cannabis. And I say to these individuals that you are now the representatives of the medical marijuana industry, in the nation's capital and have a chance, more so than anybody else, to really further our industry and help gain social acceptance for us. Much of the negative stereotypes facing medical cannabis arise from the spread of untrue beliefs. And that really integrates into what, 2.5 years ago, I envisioned weGrow to be. The first honest hydroponic store where cultivators can discuss their real intentions for wanting to grow plants. The first weGrow began in Oakland, California, and over the past year, we have opened franchise locations in California, Arizona, and Washington, D.C. By the end of the year, weGrow plans to have 10 retail locations to promote safe and responsible growing practices all across the country. This has all been made possible by a grassroots effort by a small but very dedicated group of individuals that have supported my ideas and vision for the company. weGrow is not just a growing franchise. weGrow is not just a growing franchise, but a representation of the evolution of medical marijuana into a mainstream business. To be a part of weGrow, whether as a franchisee or even a customer, is not just to be a part of a business, but it's to be a part of a cause. And for the first time, I'm going to share with everybody here that this cause has plans to be a publicly traded company. weGrow has officially began the process of becoming a publicly traded company. So for our loyal fans around the world, now you can not only be a part of medical marijuana legalization, you can also bank on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dar. Next, I'd like to introduce Alex Wong. Alex is the weGrow DC franchisee. He is the owner-operator of the store we're standing in today. Alex is an entrepreneurial financial professional with 13 years experience in the banking corporate arenas and 9 years of experience in business ownership. Alex.
Thank you, Sonny. Welcome and thank you for being here. My partners and I are very excited to have you here and help me open these doors here today. The first weGrow store on the East Coast, right here in Washington, D.C. You know, this business and industry is new to me, but one that I am very pleased and very compelled to get into after the medical marijuana legislation has passed in Washington, D.C. People have asked me recently, why? Why did I get involved in something that is perceived out of my character? Well, now that I'm open about it, I like to share my story about that. My mother did have a painful cancer experience. The morphine, the chemotherapy, the nauseous, and inability to eat properly. So why did she have to go through all this physical hardship? Well, after her passing, I found it very interesting in her experience. I felt compelled to read more, learn more, and I saw that medical marijuana definitely had a serious application towards many of us and many of our loved ones. I did not want to simply just sit back and do nothing. So once the District of Columbia started the medical marijuana program, it was fortuitous that I, one, felt compelled to take action and do something about it, and two, was fortuitous enough to find an organization like the weGrow organization with Darman. At weGrow, we will provide the supplies and services that everyone needs except the medical marijuana plant itself. The approved cultivators will need to grow safely and responsibly right here in Washington, D.C., and those who are suffering from the pains and ailments and the chemotherapy and post-traumatic stress disorder will finally be able to obtain some relief. You know, this weGrow store has an immediate customer base here in Washington consisting of the newly announced cultivators and the other cultivators along the East Coast. Wherever patient cultivation is legal, we envision serving the medical marijuana industry and as being a resource for the larger region as well, with states opening up opportunities as far north as Maine, as well as new opportunities in the Florida state. Another opportunity is increasing awareness of urban agricultural applications and the ability to grow your own vegetables and herbs and flowers for nutritional values. The chance to partner with farmers and other excited people already growing organically for their restaurants or their schools is also going to be very exciting. Growing hydroponically and growing medical cannabis is not easy, and most of the people who will be growing have likely never done it before. This weGrow franchise can teach licensed cultivators everything they need to know how to ensure their best crop yields and the best possible return to ensure their products are safe and they practice safe growing. Thank you very much for coming here today to help celebrate this milestone with all of us, and looking forward to working in Washington, D.C. community with the government and the patients who are eager to get this program up and running. All right.
Thank you, Alex. Next up, I'd like to introduce Tim Reardon. Tim has been a Vice President of Sales and Member Loyalty at the D.C. Chamber of Commerce since 2011, overseeing all manner of member services and programs for the Chamber's membership of over 1,700 businesses and organizations. He also supervises the Chamber's Business Development Department, which is responsible for member recruitment and retention. Following Tim's thoughts, we will do our traditional tree planting ceremony to officially open the store with the help of our friends from the D.C. Chamber of Commerce. Tim.
Thank you. Thanks, Sonny. I just want to say, good afternoon to everybody. And on behalf of the D.C. Chamber of Commerce staff, our members, and the business community here in the district, I want to welcome our newest members, weGrow. The D.C. Chamber was founded over 70 years ago to support local business owners who did not have an organization that they could turn to for support. Today, our membership stands at over 1,700 organizations, each with a shared goal of being a successful business here in the district. Whether that member is an entrepreneur like Alex or a large multinational corporation, we work hard every day to advocate for their interest, produce valuable programming, and help them make the business connections necessary for their success. As an example, Alex reached out to us in guidance in making sure he was properly permitted in licensing, making it possible for us all to be here today. As the voice of this thriving business community here in the district, we take great pleasure in seeing the economic growth around us. New businesses are opening up. Neighborhoods that have been underdeveloped for years are seeing a resurgence. The mayor's proposed budget does not raise taxes on businesses and will serve to make it easier for new businesses to open in the district, current businesses to prosper, and most importantly, employ city residents. One of the goals at the Chamber that we talk about very often is to help make this city a great place to live, work, and play. And when I look around, I see that goal becoming a reality. So I'd like to, Alex, the entire weGrow team, congratulations on your opening and best of luck and welcome to DC.
Alex.
Okay. So you want to be in the middle? I think man of the hour should be.
All right, thank you. So instead of a ribbon cutting, we have a
Switch.
if we did this plant.
Hold on 1 second.
Everybody does their part. It's like eating cake.
Good, buddy out.
Thanks, Alex. Make sure you don't let this plant die, okay?
What's that all about?
We felt a tree planting was a lot more significant than just a traditional ribbon cutting. And so.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you guys for all being here. Is there any questions? questions?
Good luck.
David? No? Good job. All right. Thank you, guys.